ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Tuesday, April 14th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour is brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. We've got a few interviews from the spring game to get to. We haven't done that yet, so we'll share those with you today. And, of course, we're going to hear from you all hour long. Just found out not that long ago, and I'm not surprised by this one, but Sun Belt Conference Pitcher of the Week, Bryce Blevins. So he is the now first time this year, but fifth time in his career he is named the Pitcher of the Week in the league. So good for him, and of course the baseball team trying to build a little momentum after the weekend's success. We'll hopefully see if the Herd can do that. Baseball, keeping on that track for just a second. I didn't get a chance to really watch it. I was watching something else, and maybe because I kind of got a glimpse of the score a little bit, like, okay, I'm not tuning in to get the final of that one. It's already done. Pirates end up beating the Nationals 16-5. We've got game 2 of that series. I don't know if we're going to see that much of an offensive output again, but we're going to find out. And that's coming up tonight. We go on the air at 6:15 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 as the Pirates in the midst of a 4-game series with the Nationals. Guardians got the win over the Cardinals 9-3. The Reds are opening up a series at home against the Giants tonight at 6:40. And staying with the baseball news, the Cincinnati Reds dealt first baseman Christian Encarnacion Strand to the Orioles on Monday for the bag of cash considerations. As I mentioned to you, I didn't get a chance to really watch a little bit of baseball yesterday. I was watching what was happening in the NHL because Jonathan Quick, the pretty much winningest American-born goaltender, announced that his final game would be last night, and unfortunately lost that one 3-2 against the Florida Panthers. And I thought it was really classy that the Florida Panthers waited for him, got him to come back out. He was named a star of the game, and everyone did the handshake line, even guys that are injured for Florida. So it was really cool to see. And for a lot of young kids who are maybe looking at the sport, trying to find their heroes, there's a guy, American-born, who's won 3 Stanley Cups, done pretty much everything you could possibly want to do as a goaltender. And speaking of hockey, unfortunately for Blue Jackets fans, not going to make the playoffs again this year. Eliminated last night, Philadelphia Flyers get the win 3-2 over Carolina, so they are now eliminated, the Blue Jackets, that is. So Columbus wraps up the season at home tonight, 7 o'clock against Washington. Alex Ovechkin probably going to score 8 goals, right, as he continues to build on his impressive all-time goals lead. There's some other things I want to get into with you, and we're going to do that later on. And if we've got time, I was forwarded an interesting email about what is hopefully going to happen at Ohio State, which I think maybe could translate into some success at Marshall University, maybe on a different scale. But the Ohio State Department of Athletics is looking for some input right now from football season ticket patrons, as they call them, and key stakeholders through a survey trying to determine possible next steps in modernizing the infrastructure and amenities available at historic Ohio Stadium. Now, some of the things that they're already doing, and again, I'm going to compare apples to oranges here. I'm not going to put Marshall in the same class as Ohio State as far as revenue, donor base, amenities, infrastructure. Not going to do that. But Ohio State's going to see a lot of improvements. They've got new LED fascia boards on both the east and west sides. They've got a new video board on the north end. They're opening up what's called the 1922 Club. And they've also got renovations to the concourse, restrooms, and addition of south end zone field level chairback seats and suites. And all of that's going to be ready because, of course, it's going to be ready for the home opener against Ball State on September 5th. And so the letter goes out, improving the fan experience, one of the top priorities at every Ohio State venue each year. They're also looking at doing some improvements, similar survey at the Schottenstein Center. And that's a fun building. I got to go see a WWE event up there. It was actually a fun building. It was a little newer at the time, but still fun building and probably showing just a little bit of age now. And so Ohio State's trying to find out what are some key upgrades, what are some things that fans want to see, key stakeholders, people who are spending money. You get the language. And so I'm going to ask that of you right now. And again, I know we're comparing apples and oranges here, and I'm not delusional by any stretch of the imagination when it comes to what Marshall can do compared to what Ohio State can do. But with aggressive fundraising, some things can probably get improved, right? How much you want to put into the program is up to you. And in return, and that's how much the program can put back into the fans and the facilities. I know name, image, and likeness, NIL, is going to really rule the day when it comes to what finances are going where. But I still think that facilities matter. The fan experience is definitely key to this because if you're not comfortable, you're going to the game and you're not comfortable. You watch this on TV. Make sure the experience at the stadium or the arena or the ballpark is worth the price of admission. Or you can just listen to it on the radio. You can watch it on TV. You get the same result. Food's cheaper at your house, right? Beverages are free. Well, you got to pay for them at the grocery store, but still the beverages are free. Open the fridge anytime you want to. Couch is comfy, right? Sounds pretty good if you put some money into your sound system. You can have some friends over if you want to. You can do the whole thing. A lot of people just go and tailgate anyway, so you could do that at home. You could have the tailgate in your yard, right? You know where I'm going with this. So what are some of the things that maybe you would like to see if you could maybe make some suggestions? Now, I don't want you to get nasty about this, okay? That's not the objective here or the point. I really want some constructive conversation today. I mean, if it's funny, it's funny, but let's not get nasty here with some of the things. I know how you guys operate, and I bless your heart, I'm here for it. But at the same time, I'm curious, what would be some improvements? What do you want to see at Jones C. Edwards Stadium? We'll start there. What's the direction? Where do you want the university, the athletic department, to focus its energies first or next? After, of course, vital upgrades, like lighting system, for example, has to be done. Practice facility, turf, has to be done. So now we circle back to the fan experience. What do you want to see? What should be priority number one? You can tell me, Paul, this is what will make it better for me as a fan at Marshall University. 304-396-TALK is the text line, 304-396-8255. That is the number. You want to be a part of the program today. It's brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop. Also, we're going to hear a little bit later on. We got some audio today. I want to hear from Braden Hall, also TJ Lester, among some of the interviews we have from the spring game on Saturday. So we'll do that when we continue on this edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text, online loan payments, even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Stuck in a state of falling behind, struggling to keep up with kids, finances, insurance, and life? Well, let your State Farm agent help you simplify and get to a better state. With State Farm handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else. More money, too. Adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% to help you get ahead. Call an agent today and get to a better state with State Farm. In Huntington, John Garden, 304-525-1116. And in Barbersville, Marcia Slater, 304-736-6100.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
Ichiban Chinese and Japanese Restaurant, 204 3rd Street in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Patriot Rentals and Supply. Build better, rent smarter, where the tools for success are right at your fingertips. In Patriot, Ohio.
When extra support is needed, Assisted Living at Woodlands Retirement Community offers care that feels like home. Nestled on 171 scenic acres, residents enjoy comfort, connection, and just the right amount of assistance to thrive each day. From on-site therapy to delicious dining and beautiful outdoor spaces, everything is designed for well-being and joy. Join directly or as part of our Life Care community. It's easier than you think. Call 304-697-1620 or visit woodlandswv.com. Woodlands Retirement Community, where living well never gets old.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Our text line is now open. It's 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. Welcome back. Paul Swann, your host. This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We're going to hear a little bit later on from TJ Lester, also Braden Hall. We've got some interviews from Green White Game, Spring Game. Say it properly. I missed the Green White Game. Let's just call it the Green White Game. I'm just going to call it that until I'm corrected. Until someone calls me and says, okay, it's enough. It's the spring game. Stop it. But we've got some of that coming up a little bit later on. And, of course, we've got our question of the day. And I've got the release from Ohio State. And, again, I preface this by saying apples and oranges, 100%. Marshall's not there. Marshall getting Big Ten money. Marshall isn't getting Big Ten TV money. But Ohio State Department of Athletics is asking for input from football season ticket patrons, as they call them, and key stakeholders. So does that mean me? Does that mean Bill Cornwell? Does that mean noted Marshall and Ohio State alum Bill Woodrum? Does that mean anybody, or is that somebody who has a lot of dollars? And, of course, I would think season ticket holders would have some say here, and of course key stakeholders, donors, but they're looking for feedback to kind of determine what they are saying will be future courses of action. Getting some feedback. They want to provide their guests what they're saying is the ultimate game day experience. So what would improve your game day experience at Marshall University? And so I'm asking for your input, and that's 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. Texter says, and I'm not surprised this came up early already. First up, Texter says, Paul, bathrooms at the Joan. That is a long-standing, sore subject for a lot of Herd fans. What's that going to take? What's it going to take to raise the money and get that done just once and for all, or at least in this current round of renovations? What's that going to take to just get that done? And I think that's important. And I'll try not to harp on it too much, but if you're going to be in a destination for 30, depending on if you've got concerts there, if you do at least one a year, 40 more, 50,000, who knows? But if you're going to be a destination for events in the future, the first thing you've got to make sure is you got good bathrooms and plenty of them. You don't want to have to wait in line. And, of course, the bathrooms at Jones C. Edwards Stadium are just antiquated, absolutely atrocious. I'm not saying anything out of line. I'm sorry. I think all of Herd Nation would back me up on that one. I hope you got my back on that one, because those are the most important things from any fan's perspective. Hey, I'm going to be here all day. I'm sorry, I got to go to the bathroom. And so you want to have a clean, safe, functional bathroom facility. And as many as you possibly can. Just a complete redo of the bathrooms at Jones C. Edwards Stadium. Make sure that it's adequate for the crowds you're getting and the crowds you potentially could handle in the future. Whatever your max capacity could be for depending on what the event, I think you need to go and really evaluate, how do you redo the concourses? How do you redo this entire system? And how much is that going to cost? And I'm not going to lie to you. Plumbing costs a lot of money. So would there be a contractor, a construction firm? Would there be someone with ties to Marshall University able to either cut a sweetheart deal for future considerations, or, you know what, we're just going to donate the work, we're going to donate the resources, we're going to donate the manpower. In return, we get, I don't know, advertising perpetually for, 10, 15 years, 20, what's that worth to you? Tickets to the game, X amount of tickets every game for a certain amount of years. Access to the Dutch Miller deck. Start adding some special spaces. Get some access to that. What would that cost? And again, I don't know how to make that deal, but I have to say, if you're going to look for future events, you're going to look toward the future and try to make those facilities as prosperous as possible. And multi-use facilities as well. You need to get a lot more value out of your football stadium than just game day and a great place for a coach to go practice when they're not in the indoor. You have to really use your facilities and make sure that the facilities are paying you back. And I think that is an investment that is long overdue. And so I'm not surprised that's the first one to come up. Also, refurb the Henderson Center. That's the next one that came up. And I don't know where you begin there. The building's showing its age, obviously. And we've talked to Gerald Harrison before. A.D. Harrison. Mr. Harrison, give him the respect he's due. So A.D. Harrison has pointed that out. Hey, look, I mean, we got to give this building some TLC. We know that. We got to do it. We got to be responsible about it. It's not as if he's just walking by oblivious, whistling. Yeah, I don't see anything here. No, I can go about my way now. No, those are things that I think are really important. But, it's in general terms, refurb the Henderson Center. I would like to see, because I wasn't really happy with the bowl remodel. I'm not 100% fond of it. I've always felt like it needed to be a little bit more rounded of a seating capacity. I'd like to see some things really done with the sky deck or the overhang, a little bit more, make it attractive. come up with some new seat configurations. I don't know what that's going to entail. I'd like to see the outside facade really cleaned up and spruced up. Make the building look attractive from the outside as well. So, yeah, I get that. Refurb the Henderson Center, that could be a lot of things. And I know that there were some improvements made to really clean it up, and that's going to continue. I know Dan D'Antoni was big on, hey, can we get some paint here and just do that? So those are good points taken. Also from the text line, texter says, Paul, chair backs for all the Joan and Henderson Center. I could see Henderson Center being refurbished with new chairs. I'm thinking that might be easier than football, just to get you started. You get some color correct chairs in there. I don't know, would you go white chairs instead of green? If you're going to go green, obviously Kelly green, or go white chairs. I'd almost like to see the interior painted black, and then you go with the white chairs, make something stand out a little bit more. And again, that's going to take a lot of money. We're talking, hey, how much is the paint these days? It probably costs a little bit more than I'm used to. But chairbacks, that could be interesting. That could be in a long-term plan just to refurbish a little bit. Also, all seats at the football stadium chairback. So that would diminish your capacity. First and foremost, that would diminish your capacity. But at the same time, it would offer maybe a more comfortable experience for fans. Now, you can get temporary chairbacks and put those in now. I mean, you got your seats at different price points. Every seat's got a different price point. And you don't have necessarily like a club level, you don't have a multi-level, multi-tiered stadium. You just have two sides, the end zone, and then you have the deck. And then that's another thing. I would have liked to have seen the end zone a little bit more rounded as well. I'm not saying like the Shoe in Columbus, but I would have liked to have seen that a little bit more rounded when the erector set went up years ago. Hate that still to this day, and hopefully something better comes of the removal, all of that. But those are some good points, and I appreciate that. Text line 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Previous sports information directors would nickname me the Builder because of my known love of those erector set seats at Joan C. Edwards Stadium. No, these are all some viable points. And again, these are probably some simple fixes if the money's there. Seating, you can upgrade seating, obviously. But go beyond that. What is something that could be done or needs to be done or needs to be looked at starting with Joan C. Edwards Stadium? What needs to be done to enhance the fan experience? Better seating always wins the day. Yeah, man, the seat's comfortable. Movie theaters look at ways to promote their theater being best. Now, we don't have that many movie theaters to compete with each other. I mean, pretty much, if you live in Ashland, you're going to Cinemark. If you're going to Camp Landing, you're going up there, or you're going to Pullman if you're in downtown Huntington. You're going to basically what's close to you, maybe for the most part. And just seats win the day. Like, hey, we've got that stadium seating. We've got that chair back. We've got chairs that are massage your back. All of that's coming. We're not getting too grandiose at the football stadium. I just need a really good, comfortable seat to watch the game at. You know what? Have a hot dog stand close by when I want to get a bite to eat. You know what? have a bathroom where there's no line so I can get in, take care of my business, get back, don't miss any of the action? What are some of the things that need to happen in the future, near and long term? And again, I'm basing this off of what Ohio State's doing, looking for some input on future amenities at Ohio Stadium. So think of amenities. What are some of the things that need to be on the grand plan? And I'm going to honestly say we already know bathrooms are needed. So go beyond that. We'll take your text, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. This is The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Injured in a fall? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You've probably heard all those ads for life insurance. Just a few dollars a day, apply online in minutes, no medical exam. Simple, easy, and cheap, right? Now you're thinking, maybe I should get a quote. Well, smart thinking. Everyone should have life insurance. But here's what they don't tell you. Those few dollars a day rates, they're for young people in perfect health. That's why everyone calls Big Lou the 50 to 60-year-old not-so-perfect candidate. Like you. You take prescription meds, and you're overweight. Winner, winner, fried chicken dinner. Well, Big Lou works with life insurance companies that want people like you, with no surprises after you apply. In fact, if you're a 50-year-old guy with a few health glitches, Lou could probably find you $1 million of term life coverage for about $200 a month. So, yeah, you need life insurance. But unless you're young and healthy, you gotta call Big Lou, because he's like you, older, heavier, and on meds, too. Get a quote right now at 800-511-3535, 800-511-3535, or biglou.com.
Planning for a funeral is never easy, and selecting the right mortuary can be important. Family-owned and operated for over 6 decades, our family has helped other families going through the most difficult time. Chapman's Mortuary and Crematory can help you plan arrangements today or offer a pre-need funeral plan in line with your intimate wishes. And now, we provide Huntington's only on-site crematory. Call us for a free consultation. Chapman's Mortuary and Crematory, serving the tri-state for over 60 years.
For 20 years, Elite Welding Academy has trained top pipe welders and helped build strong careers. They now offer evening classes, and you can finish in as little as 6 months. New classes start every 2 months. Don't wait to change your future. They're VA friendly and work with all WIOA offices in the tri-state and offer financial aid to those who qualify. Plus, their job placement team helps you get hired. Get started at EliteWeldingAcademy.com. Elite Welding Academy, built for what's next.
At home or at work, in the car or at the gym, there's nothing more convenient than the fast service and the quality products brought to you by Tyler Mountain Water and Coffee. If you're always on the go with family, friends, co-workers, and business associates, give Tyler Mountain Water and Coffee a chance. They have everything that you need, from filtration coolers, coffee for your work, at-home delivery, and 8-ounce, 10-ounce, and half-liter bottles, or by the pallet. Tyler Mountain Water and Coffee, where great taste just comes naturally. Visit us at TylerMountainWater.com.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We continue with your Tuesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I promise you we're going to hear from TJ Lester from the spring game in just a few minutes. Until then, we've been asking you our question of the day, and this stems from an Ohio State release asking input from its ticket holders and what it calls its key stakeholders on what some of the future amenities at Ohio Stadium should be. Now, they've got LED boards. They've got a new club opening up, the 1922 Club. They've got all kinds of little things that they're trying to improve on. And so I'm asking you a similar question. And again, I recognize apples and oranges here. We're comparing Ohio State and its budget compared to Marshall and its budget. But still, you're always needing to move forward and make the fan experience the best it possibly can be. Texter says, Paul, at the Joan, if not total chairbacks, get the right size seasonal rental seats. At my former seat location, the rental seats attached by Marshall are too wide for the numbered spaces and encroached on my numbered seat. Appreciate the thoughts there. That's a big one right there, because the chairback, if it's comfy for someone else and not you because you're sitting next to it and you're losing some real estate here, you're not feeling really comfortable as well. And I don't think you're being too picky. I don't think anyone's being too picky about seating. And so I'll throw that out. Would seating be the big, hey, bathrooms and let's just go seating? Get that done. Get some new seating here. Create some opportunities here. Have everything chair backed and make sure that it's spacious enough that you can sit comfortably. I mean, get the cup holders too while you're at it, right? Get the cup holders, and maybe in some locations you can have, you can do the mobile app order and they'll come to you if you're on the press box side, right? You come up with some amenities like that. But no, I don't see why you couldn't have chairbacks for all your seats. You can still have pricing tiers based on location. I mean, that would be a tremendous upgrade. You upgrade every seat to an actual chairback, and you might lose a little capacity, but at the same time, you create probably just a little bit more demand, a better experience, and you probably get that capacity back if you redo the end zone. That's the whole thing. I thought Jones C. Edwards Stadium, when it opened up, was right size for the fan base. And then there was that, hey, we got to expand so we can bring other schools in, and maybe we'll get into a bigger conference. And I know there was talk about the Big East years ago. We go way back here with that, getting Marshall in the Big East, which never came to be. But the end zone seats were just a tack on, hey, how can we do this cheaply? And I don't think it was very well planned. And there are no facilities on that end zone. No amenities on that end zone at all. Nothing. And I know property is an issue. You can't take any more property than you have there. So, you got to do something creative with that space. And I think you can come up with something in that end zone, in that area, that would be a great addition, a unique space, create some unique seating as well. I mean, maybe you do the party deck. Previous administration talked about the party deck. Or you have a different facility there, which is going to be, I don't know if you want to call it more upscale than the Dutch Miller deck, or you could have, different types of events there. It can serve multiple purposes. And I'm sure that there are all kinds of conversations going on now and in the future. And again, this isn't an indictment of Marshall University or what the administration, what facilities are trying to do. It's just what would help you have a more pleasant experience, or what would be an upgrade to your experience at Jones C. Edwards Stadium, and then moving over to the Henderson Center. What would improve the experience for you? And seating seems to be the big one coming up. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. And that is our number to be a part of today's show here, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. The other thing that makes game day more enjoyable, and that's winning. And one of the standouts from the game on Saturday was TJ Lester. Let's get his initial thoughts about playing in that game and looking ahead to the season.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty fun. We worked hard all one along, so it was just good to go out there and just have it all pay off, really.
Is it what you expected?
Yeah, I think it's definitely what I expected. Went through 3-4 weeks of spring ball practicing against them, having scrimmages and stuff, so I think we put everything together pretty nicely as an offense.
Make it a little bit more competitive in a way to have the scoring the way it is and everything. By the end of it, you guys are trading back and forth in it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It was a little bit more competitive that way, having offense versus defense. Because defense got to get their own points too by getting tackles for loss and interceptions and stuff like that. So I think it made it more competitive.
I know that you all, have been practicing. What's it like to get under the lights, run out, go through the game situations, and see some fans in the stands? Does that sort of turn you up a little bit?
Oh yeah, definitely. My heart rate jumped up because I had never really played in front of that many fans before because I was at an FCS previously. So it was great. The fans very supportive. They were loud. So it was a great feeling overall.
A lot of times spring games, the newer guys get some time in, but this game looked, as Coach said earlier, this game looked pretty smooth. I mean, you guys looked like a team that was in August.
Yeah.
Did it feel that way too, that you're kind of way ahead of schedule?
Yeah, definitely. We've been working our all spring long as offense too, so we were just slowly putting the pieces together, connecting the dots, and we put it together final day when it all matters. So I'm proud of the guys.
For you personally, how are you going to build on this? You got the big summer period coming up in the fall. How are you going to want to build on your performance today?
Extra film, learning defensive fronts, techniques and all that stuff. When it comes to pass pro, ball security, all that stuff, just honing on the little details just to elevate my game any way I can.
Just about as physical a spring game as you could have asked for.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. Yeah, pretty physical.
Ask you about just the position group between you and Judah both having some success today. Just what have you seen of the progression of the room as it goes through spring?
Oh man, we got a lot better. First day of spring was a little rough because we had 3-4 new guys, so we just trying to learn our tracks the right way. Coach Rod did a great job helping us all come together and put everything together, like pass pro technique, inside zone technique, outside zone technique. So I'm really proud of the group. We definitely got better this spring. I'm proud of them. I think we're gonna continue to get better.
TJ Lester, his remarks after the game on Saturday. One more, I promised you, and that's from Braden Hall. Let's get his thoughts on the game on Saturday and looking ahead to the season.
I feel like we did solid, a few mistakes, have to clean up, but, that's what spring's for, just getting the mistakes out the way, getting ready for, game day coming this fall,
Coach Tony Gibson, very complimentary of that secondary, man. How good you guys feel just as a group?
I feel very confident about the secondary. We have a lot of transfers, me, myself, Britton Hall, Eddie Pleasant, Charles McCarthins, and we also have guys who've been here like Jeter and then Phillip. We're all competing, getting better, growing together and everything.
How does it feel like to go against a pretty deep offense? That's only got to make you guys better as you get ready for next season.
Definitely.
To do that, to go against them every time.
Definitely. They're deep, definitely. Those receivers definitely made me better this spring. Shout out to AD, Didi, number 0, number 2, all of those guys. Carlos makes good plays, makes me better. Everyone's sharp, iron sharper than iron, so, we all just getting better.
A lot of times in spring games, offenses, it could be, 63-10, but, the defense it was a 1-point game until that last touchdown, so it shows how determined this defense can be.
Definitely, yeah. Our mindset going into the spring game was to win, The scoring was different, pick 6 is worth like 5 points, a stop is worth 3. So we're keeping up, just being competitive, competing,
Definitely a program looking to, take that next step. What are some of the things that head coach Tony Gibson talked about his maybe intensity during practice to make you guys better you?
Oh man, Coach Tony, he's a defensive coach for sure. He's always on us, running onto the field, running off the field. Detail, if it's tackle, tackling. If it's stud, it's stud. It's tag. Very detail oriented, sharper than us. Yep.
How good is it to have Coach Lambert in there as well? With he has his head coaching experience. You have the defensive head coach and everything. I'm sure they're just kind of layers and layers to help you guys get better. Right?
Yeah, I love Coach Lambert. I love his calls. He makes me feel confident as a corner when you got good calls coming in on 3rd down, 4th down. When you trust your DC, you feel pretty confident as a cornerback. So.
As a team building, now the transfer portal is a little different than it was last year. What's that like having all the guys you were with spring now going to be around and you guys can get better, as the season progresses, in fall and going into the regular season?
It's very different for me, but here it's very family oriented. from the beginning of January, we're doing mat drills. We all have to get each other's names, where we're from, what's our family members' names, what will be our last meal, all that type of stuff, just getting to know each other. So I feel like we're coming together very good, and Coach Gibson and the rest of the staff has done a good job keeping us together, making everything.
A couple of really good breakups on the defense. Can you just speak to that sort of aggression that you guys are approaching it with, and how you guys have developed into those kind of plays?
We just want to be dominant, get on and off the field. Don't give up big plays, but, top down, tackle the ball if it's caught in front of you. Just being aggressive, making plays.
Comments from Braden Hall from the spring game on Saturday. We will get your text at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've been asking you today, it was prompted by Ohio State, asking its season ticket holders and stakeholders, what are some of the future amenities you'd like to see at Ohio Stadium? Well, what are some of the future amenities you'd like to see at Jones C. Edwards Stadium? We'll get your text on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Save big money on all of your outdoor projects at Menards. Create stunning patios and walkways with our huge in-stock selection of durable concrete blocks. Ready to take home today. Plus, get free estimates fast with our easy-to-use design program in-store or on Menards.com. Save big money on our 16-inch brick base, cobblestone or lakestone patio blocks on sale now. Plus, check out our flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards. Hey, Mom, now that I have an after-school job, I think I want to buy a drum kit.
Okay, Rockstar. Let's look at your account.
When kids start making money, Chase has easy-to-use tools and expert bankers to help them learn how to manage it.
And next month, I'll buy the bass drum and the cymbals. Oh, and maybe some noise-canceling headphones for you.
Aw, you've thought of everything.
Help kids save, budget, and build financial independence, all with Chase. That's good for kids and good for parents. Visit your local Chase branch and get started.
Account subject to approval. J.P. Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
When it comes to your money, you want a bank that's built to last. KFB, the Better Bank, is proud to be your hometown community bank, serving neighbors, not numbers. We're here for all your financial needs today and well into the future. So if you're looking for a bank that's committed for the long haul, check out our Wheelersburg location today. KFB, the Better Bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
It's the 23rd Annual Empty Bowls event happening Friday, May 1st from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at Pullman Square in downtown Huntington. Marshall University Art and Design students showcase their talents and support Facing Hunger Food Bank. With nearly 1,000 unique handcrafted bowls on display, choose one or start a collection. Every bowl is just $20. It's all for a great cause. Proceeds benefit Huntington's Facing Hunger Food Bank. That's Empty Bowls, May 1st, 10 to 3. Don't miss it. Together we are Facing Hunger.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We are continuing with this Tuesday edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. Paul Swann, your host, here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've had an interesting conversation today. It was prompted earlier today. Someone shared with me the email release that came out from Ohio State about input for future amenities at Ohio Stadium. And I thought, okay, this would be interesting, not because Marshall can match Ohio State on what it can do. Yeah, they're doing things like renovations to the concourse restrooms. They're doing some south end zone field level chairback seats and suites and some other things that are going to be really interesting. But at the same time, you get Ohio State money, but they're asking for input and direction. So I thought, let's ask Marshall fans, what's the most important thing to a Herd fans game day experience on Saturday? And I got the usual stuff because it is important. So I'm not trying to make light of it, but we're stressing bathrooms because in concourses because that's important. And seating. Those seem to be the two big go-to items if you're trying to make a huge impression with Marshall fans. What can you do to improve game day? Fix the bathrooms. Not fix them, redo them completely. Just gut it out, redo it, expand it. I mean, I would like to drive everyone from the athletic department over to the new Ohio Buc-ee's. Go to the Buc-ee. Or next time you're in Harrisonburg, on your way, because it's open now, just stop at Buc-ee's on your way to JMU, go in the restroom at Buc-ee's, and then come back to me and go, yeah, we got to have that. I want a restroom better than the one they have at Buc-ee's. Texture says, Paul, how about a big M with green chairbacks on west side and a big U on chairbacks on east side? That would look great. Let our opponents know where they are. I need to see a mock-up of that. And I know someone out there with Photoshop skills can make that happen for me. I want to see a mock-up of that. Just have all the chair backs white. Yeah, that's not hard to clean. And then just have the big green M on one side, the big green U on the other maybe. I want to see a mock-up of that. That's a cool idea. I'm willing to entertain that. 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. That's the number to be a part of today's show. I know we talked to Ryan Crisp recently and a few others, and there's going to be some areas in the football stadium that's going to allow for kids with special needs, some daycare options possibly. You know, I've always been a fan of, hey, you know what? We need that sensory room just because sometimes a kid's getting used to this stuff and just needs that time out. And honestly, if you can maximize the space you have, I think you can make some things really happen. All right, let's go back to the text line. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is the number to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Texture says, I know this is a little off topic, but any predictions for the NBA play-in games tonight? Well, you have the Heat taking on the Hornets tonight. That's coming up at 7:30. And by the way, that's on Prime Video. And then you have the Portland Trail Blazers and the Phoenix Suns. That's tonight's games. Tomorrow's games will be Orlando and Philadelphia, Golden State and the Clippers. I'm going to go Charlotte. I'm going to go Phoenix. Charlotte, Phoenix right there. So I think the Heat get eliminated tonight, and I think Portland gets knocked out tonight. So those are my probably two vanilla safe bets. And then on Wednesday, I'm going to take the Phillies. Philadelphia 76ers. Yeah, give me Philadelphia. And I know it's in Inglewood, but give me Golden State. I'm not betting against Golden State just yet. So play-in games begin. NBA playoffs coming up. I think I like Golden State to kind of, and I do like Philadelphia though. I really haven't thought about this too much, but I'm taking Philadelphia for a little run there. Philadelphia would get the 7 seed if it beats Orlando. The Warriors and Clippers, the winner goes on, the loser is eliminated from this. But I like Philadelphia. That's my favorite of all these games being played. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That's our text line to be a part of the show. Here's one. Here's an amenity that a lot of people are. You know, Coach. I'm sorry, I'll call him Coach. Vice President A.D. Harrison said, that's something he'd like to get going. Texter says, and some air conditioning for the Cam Henderson Center. I'm sorry, he said the Cam Henderson oven. I'm sorry, I did not read your full text unedited, as I promise I usually do. The Cam Henderson oven. So we got bathrooms, we got chairs, and we got an HVAC system, right? We got some heating and cooling. That's what we're looking for right now here. At no time have I heard, hey, we need some premium seating. We need an exclusive. We need some high item menu items here. We need some more exclusive seating. We haven't heard anything about concourses or concessions. We've heard seats, bathrooms, and now air conditioning. Just the basic creature comforts here that we're talking about. I think that's pretty practical, to be honest with you. I mean, could you imagine if you're announcing that, hey, we're going to open up Marco's. Marco's is going to be a new space in the football stadium. You can get some upscale dining. You get a great view of the game while it's playing. And you're thinking to yourself, no, we need bathrooms. That's why they pay the athletic director the bigger bucks than me, making those decisions. But all of this comes down to, fundraising. Where can you prioritize the resources you have? Where can you get the money to do this? And I can't imagine that somewhere someone is not willing to say, look, I know it's going to be a little pricey. I'll take it in. Can we trade? Can we trade bathrooms out? Is that a thing? Can we do some tradio here? I'll do tradio. If I can get someone from Marshall University to agree with this, I'll do tradio where we trade out someone redoing the entire concourse in the bathrooms, and then Marshall will trade something for that. I'll broker that deal. I don't think that's going to happen. And Gerald's probably going to look at me going, come on, Paul. Seriously. I know you like to have a little fun. You like to be a little boisterous now and then, but come on now. Let's get real. But there's just some good points here. All right, we're going to be back at it tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We got baseball action coming up. The Pirates, maybe they did not use up all the offense that they basically used yesterday to embarrass the Nationals 16-5. Game 2 of that series is coming up tonight. 6:15 is going to be our airtime here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'll be back with you tomorrow, 5:06 p.m. Until then, have a great evening, everyone.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.